In a world where eating special fruits grants incredible powers, the young adventurer accidentally eats one that doesn't give him any abilities. Worse, he cannot eat another fruit, as doing so would be fatal. Determined to become the best adventurer, he pushes his limits and discovers that his fruit isn't as useless as everyone believes. Skills are granted by the ancestral fruits that once brought happiness to humanity. Now, they must be used to achieve a future of peace. A young man named Light walks through a meadow with his friend Lena, who asks him what skill he would like to have. Light responds that he'd love a speed ability, dual wielding, or perfect accuracy. However, he's willing to accept any skill that helps him fight, as it's essential for becoming an adventurer. Light is thrilled because today is the day he will finally receive his skill and take the first step toward his dream of becoming an adventurer. Lena admits she wants any skill that will allow her to have the same job as Light, so both are committed to becoming adventurers together. Sometime later, we see Light cultivating berries. He's excited about his new life and his dream job, and happy that his berries are growing better every day. He seems content with his new profession, or at least that's what he wants to believe. In reality, he's frustrated about giving up his dream of becoming an adventurer, all because of the skill he was granted. 3 months ago, when he and Lena went to choose their fruits, they were welcomed by the Sacred Sister, who presented them and a couple of other young people with skill fruits. She explained that the skill granted by the fruit would determine their future profession. The sister warned them that only one fruit could be consumed in a lifetime. Eating another would poison and kill them. Light already knew this and understood that luck played a significant role in an adventurer's profession, since the best adventurers were blessed with incredibly powerful combat skills. Lena went first, choosing one of the fruits. After taking a bite, her body reacted immediately, revealing her skill, Holy Sword. The sister was astonished, as it was a rare and legendary skill associated with adventurers who became legends. Light congratulated Lena, and they both hoped his skill would be just as extraordinary. When it was Light's turn, he chose a fruit and took a bite. His body glowed, and the sister announced his skill, Fruit Master. This skill allowed him to cultivate multiple fruits in a short time. Light was devastated and wanted to try another fruit, but the sister reminded him of the fatal consequences. Lena tried to console him, suggesting they work together on a plantation. However, the sister was furious, insisting that Lena's skill was too unique to waste. She ordered Lena to move to the Holy City immediately and fulfill her destiny as an adventurer. Lena asks Light to wait for her, and he only asks her to do her best for him. Since then, Light has dedicated himself to growing food. He goes to sell his fruits and thinks he would do better if he could sell vegetables, but his skill only works on fruits. Walking through the streets, he discovers that Lena has reached S rank in record time. While proud of his friend, he still longs to stand at her level. Determined, he heads into the forest to train with his sword, but his efforts bear no results. A little girl offers him some water. Her name is Ayla, and she has lived with Light ever since the village leader entrusted her to his care. Together, they divide farm work and chores. Ayla tells Light that dinner is ready, and they head home. She asks how the harvest went, and Light replies, "It went well, especially with the skill fruits." This is good news since Light is saving up to buy a quality sword for his training. He warns Ayla never to eat any skill fruits, as they are incredibly dangerous. Innocently, Ayla confesses that she used a few skill fruits to prepare the stew they're eating. He panics, recalling the sister's warning. His body begins to react, and he assumes this is the end for him. Ayla tries to help, and Light apologizes for not warning her sooner about the dangers of skill fruits. But then, he notices that he feels fine. In fact, his body awakens a new power, God of the Sword. Meanwhile, at the temple, the sister has a premonition. She looks into a mirror and sees a space where one star shines brighter than the others. Light wonders why his body was able to assimilate an additional skill when suddenly Ayla begins to feel the effects of her fruit. In her eyes, an effect appears that allows her to see the abilities granted by fruits in their bearers. She realizes that Light's Fruit Master skill makes him immune to the poison of the fruits. Light also discovers he possesses more abilities within him. God of the Sword, which increases his attack power when wielding a sword and boosts his magical resistance. Light notices that Ayla has an evaluation skill and decides to test his new powers. Grabbing his sword, he runs back to the forest. He swings his blade and easily cuts through a thick tree trunk, along with several trees behind it. This is when Light realizes he is the only person in the world with 2 skills. The next day, Light and Ayla head to the market. Ayla spots a freshly made pizza, something she's never seen before, and her mouth waters at the sight of it. Light urges her not to stop, and together they head to the Adventurers Guild. Ayla notices how happy Light seems, and he explains that it's because he can finally start pursuing his dream. They see a Walden monster hunting quests, and Light explains that defeating monsters earns great rewards. However, he knows he's not there for money. First, he needs to see if his new skill is useful in real combat. He sits Ayla on a bench and asks her to wait while he tries to get a quest. Ayla obeys and uses her ability to observe the guild members while waiting. She discovers that everyone possesses impressive skills, but only Light has more than one. Determined to help Light, she uses her ability to gather useful information. She notices an adventurer with the skill Stampede, which damages both the opponent and their user. Ayla wonders if that makes it a bad skill. Just then, an adventurer confronts Light for bumping into him. Light calmly apologizes, saying it was his fault, but the adventurer scoffs, claiming that someone with real skills would have dodged him. The man recognizes Light as the boy who sells fruit in the market and mocks him, saying the guild is no place for a farmer. Ayla reunites with Light, and they prepare to leave without escalating the issue. But the adventurer becomes enraged. He draws his sword and attacks Light, but Light effortlessly blocks with his own blade. Light notices his skill has also enhanced his reflexes. The adventurer's companions urge him to let it go, reminding him they need to prepare for their first quest. The adventurer, Jean, reluctantly agrees and leaves. Light tells Ayla they've secured their first quest, and they set out. Their mission takes them to a large field where they find a small slime. Ayla analyzes it and discovers it has higher defense than average slimes. Light approaches the creature cautiously. The slime becomes alert. Drawing his sword, Light knows the winner will be the one to strike first. He charges and splits the slime in half. His skill not only lightens his sword, but also gives him a significant speed boost. Ayla congratulates him, and Light suggests taking part of the slime back to the guild to sell. Ayla feels a bit guilty about destroying the slime and selling it, but Light reassures her, saying the earnings will buy plenty of pizza. Her guilt fades, and Ayla eagerly starts cutting pieces of the slime. Suddenly, they hear screams in the distance, putting Light on high alert. It's Jean, being cornered by a large orc. The monster is far too powerful for them to handle. The orc strikes, and the adventurers barely dodge. Any direct blow would have been fatal. Seeing them, Light asks if they're okay. Recognizing him, Jean and his companions run toward Light, planning to use him as bait while they escape. The three adventurers flee, leaving Light and Ayla alone with the orc. With no other choice, Light prepares to fight. Unsheathing his sword, he feels anxious yet determined. Defeating an orc on his first mission would be a significant milestone in his career. The orc strikes, but Light dodges. Ayla warns him that his skill doesn't provide physical resistance, so one hit could be fatal. Light understands, but refuses to back down. Focusing all his power, he charges at the orc. He cuts through the orc's weapon and tells himself that he'll catch up to Lena. Charging his attack, Demonic Slash, he slices the orc in half. Light celebrates his victory. Ayla rushes to him, asking if he's okay. Light assures her he's fine, thrilled at how powerful his abilities are. From a cliff, Jean and his friends watch in awe, wondering who this mysterious adventurer is. Light and Ayla return to the guild, where they present parts of the slime and the orc. The receptionist is shocked by the results of Light's first mission. To prove his feat, Light shows her the orc's horn. Jean's companions admit they owe Light their lives, though Jean struggles to acknowledge it. The receptionist steps away briefly to process their reward, and one of Jean's friends praises Light's remarkable achievement on his first mission. A commotion arises in the guild, and Light investigates. The S-rank adventurers have returned, among them Lena. Light pushes through the crowd to greet her, but she doesn't recognize him. At the temple, the sister gazes into her mysterious mirror and declares that she has foreseen the future. A great threat has been born that will shake the world to its core. Hey, if you made it to this part of the video, don't forget to write the word Exquisito in the comment section. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.